it's interesting though that like some that I really liked didn't get accepted in the end,
Mm-hmm.
which really just goes to show how many good talks we got. Mostly my criteria just became, am I reading this abstract and I'm walking away from it knowing what I'm going to learn from this talk? Like, am I interested in this? Do I know what I'm going to get out of it? How is this going to make my professional life better? I just feel like momentum, the organizers have so much love for it and they're so proud of it and they really want it to be a great experience for the speakers and attendees. And the thought and care put into that, there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it.
Hello, hello. My name is Dave Agarwal, and I'm an organizer for Momentum, an annual developer conference that happens here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Today, we have to talk about Momentum and to talk about conferences in general. We have with us Annie. How's it going?
Hey, good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. Do you want to give a short introduction?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I am a product manager at Kroger.
Amazing.
And yeah, I'm in Cincinnati. And I heard about Momentum last year and I wanted to help out with it. So, yeah,
Cool. Well, where did you hear about Momentum?
that's a great question. I think the first time I heard about it was when I was at Tech Elevator, which is a tech boot camp here in Cincinnati. Well, they have campuses all
Nice.
around, but I went to the Cincinnati campus.
Nice. How long ago was this?
So that was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Um, but I was the kind of student that would not have skipped lecture to go to Momentum. So the year I found out
Cool.
about it, for me, it was like, well, I'll go next year when I'm a developer.
Interesting. So you heard about Momentum, but you skipped it that year, but then you went the next year.
Yeah.
How
Oh,
was
yeah.
the
I
experience?
didn't miss any lectures when I was in school. Um,
Nice.
yeah. Yeah. Momentum was great. It was a lot. I mean, conferences are like so many people, you're meeting new
Hmm.
people, you're trying to absorb all this information. Um, but the Cincinnati developer community is so open and welcoming. So it was just really nice to meet people within the space.
Nice. How many other conferences other than Momentum have you been to? What's the experience there?
I think I've been to Code Mash. Wait,
Okay.
that's not true. That is not true.
Oh,
I've been to Stir Trek. I've been to Stir Trek, Momentum, KCDC. I went to Cincy Deliver last year,
okay.
which is a conference centered around Agile. I think that's it. I've just been to four.
That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. Oh no, I also went to Code Palooza in Louisville.
Okay.
So I've been to five. And it's really fun because once you start going to conferences, you
Hmm.
start recognizing speakers at other conferences, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, these are my speaker friends. So that's a really nice part of it. It's just like a little community that travels around.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. I was talking to Saduki a couple days ago, and like she's been involved with conferences for like over a decade now, and she talked about this like kind of having a group like an Avengers group that like travels together to conferences, and it's pretty fun. Like the Avengers, the band gets back together at at every conference.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, out of all the conferences that you've been to, is there anything like? What do you think the difference is between all these conferences? Obviously, other than the location that they're at, what's like? How's their vibe different, or how's the conferences different from each other?
Ooh. Oh, that's such a good question. I love that because I've been thinking a lot about that with momentum, actually, like in
Hmm.
terms of if momentum was a person, who are
Hmm.
they? What's their
Yeah.
personality? Um, hmm. Yeah, I guess the feel of some of them are different. I mean, just the size, right? The
Hmm.
scope. Like KCDC is massive.
Hmm.
Um, it's almost like when you go to a really big university versus a
Hmm.
tiny one. Like they're
Right.
one's not better than the other. They're just different.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like
Cool.
KCDC was huge. So
Hmm.
right away when I got there, I just kind of found my people. And yeah, of course, I met other people, made new friends, but
Hmm.
I met some people and we kind of just stayed together most of the time.
Hmm.
The smaller conferences, though, it's sort of, again, it's like being at a tiny college where you sort of feel like you know everybody. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a good question, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Smaller conferences, it feels like it's a more tight knit community. It's like living in a smaller town, like you know
Yes.
everyone. It's pretty
Yeah.
fun. But
Yeah.
then again, like big conferences have this wow factor with them that, oh, there's so many people here.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is cool and sort of
Hmm.
overwhelming at times, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. So you recently spoke at KCDC. You were a conference speaker. Was that your
Yeah.
first speaking gig at a conference?
Yes.
How did that go?
It was good. Um, yeah, I felt like it went really well. Um, I feel really lucky though that public speaking has never been scary for me. So I
Okay.
have given speeches before, but never at a tech conference. And when I say speeches, I mean a long time ago, like
Right.
in high school and in college. But yeah, I think it went well. What I really liked about it more than giving the talk, I mean, I loved that. That was really
Hmm.
fun. But what I really, really enjoyed was more the discussion afterwards, all the questions. It felt really more like I was facilitating a discussion. So that was really, really exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And this was your first time speaking at a conference, right?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
have you applied to other conferences now? Are you
I
now going to
haven't.
be a serial speaker?
I might be, yeah. I totally understand. I was told by Michael Richardson that I might
Hmm.
get the bug, and I definitely did. And it's not because like, oh, everybody's watching me, blah. It's just more like it's so fun to share your
Hmm.
ideas and to connect with new people and speakers or attendees.
Hmm.
It was so fun. I really liked it a lot.
Hmm. Cool. Yeah, speaking of sessions at a conference, you were on the content review team for Momentum, right?
Yes.
How
Yeah.
did that go? Was that your first time doing content review for a conference?
Yes. I've never done it before. It's a really big commitment.
Hmm.
I wasn't anticipating that, but
Hmm.
it's really exciting reading through the talks. It's just like it's thrilling when you get an abstract that you're just like, "Ah, now that's an abstract. And it's really cool when you can kind of some of these abstracts. I feel like I mean, it's very interesting to read through these, but some of them just have such a clear tone of voice.
Hmm.
And some of them, it's so clear that even though it's completely anonymous, you might know who it is just because their tone of voice is so strong, which is amazing.
Hmm. Yeah, especially if you also like know some of the speakers personally,
Yeah.
having been to a bunch of conferences on your own, that might have an impact on that.
Yeah.
So how do you approach like content review? Like what like the first time you open Session Eyes and you like look at the sessions there, like what were you thinking? How do you go into it? How do you
Oh,
decide? There's a lot of things there.
yeah. Oh, well, for me, I didn't do it right after work because
Mhm.
since I'm a PM, I'm on the screen all day. So take a break from that and then
Mhm.
come back. And I think I tried to do like a half hour at a time
Okay.
just because like I can't skim really fast. I wanted to take my time with each of them.
Mhm.
So yeah, taking it in small chunks I thought was helpful.
Got it. So taking it in small chunks, and then what kind of sessions were in there? Like, were there any sessions that got you like really excited?
Oh
Like, oh,
yeah,
this is a good one.
yeah, a lot of them. And in fact, I mean, some of them that I really liked, um, it didn't. Sorry, again, I know this might be cut, but I'm still just gonna answer you.
That's fine.
It's
Yeah.
like a normal human. Yeah, there were a lot I really liked, and it's interesting though that like some that I really liked didn't get accepted in the end,
Mm-hmm.
which really just goes to show how many good talks we got. It was
Mm-hmm.
really hard to narrow them down. Yeah, there were several that I thought were really exciting, and I was reading talks that were in the like the human skills or soft skills, whatever you want to call it, that track, as well as some of the technical ones.
Got it. And did you submit any talks?
I didn't think I was allowed to.
Yeah. I mean, apparently, the content, like anyone doing content review, or there are some people doing content review that also submitted talks. Um, cool. So, sure, you said there are talks that you liked, but they didn't end up getting accepted, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you think, according to you, what do you think is the criteria for uh, like get approving talks or ranking talks? What was your criteria, and what do you think in general the criteria should be?
Oh God, that's good. Well, this is the thing. This was something when I was reading through these abstracts. I had to like kind of argue internally about this because
Hmm.
sometimes it felt like this is a great topic. There's really
Hmm.
something here,
Hmm.
but this abstract isn't that strong.
Got it.
Oh, your cat.
Oh,
um,
yeah.
so I kind of had to think about that too,
Hmm.
because yeah, that was really hard. Anyway, I'm getting a little off track, but mostly my criteria just became, am I reading this abstract and I'm walking away from it knowing what I'm going to learn from this talk? Like, am I interested in this?
Hmm.
Do I know what I'm going to get out of it?
Hmm.
How is this going to make my professional life better?
Got it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And were there any things? I mean, you attended Momentum last year, and like I'm pretty sure you went to a lot of the sessions there last year. So
Yes.
did that somehow like factor into uh, like, okay, this is the vibe of the conference, this is the kind of stuff that we talk about here, and like basically what I'm trying to ask is that were there any talks that you really liked, or like they're very well put together, you enjoyed reading the abstract, you got a good you got something out of it, but then you were like, this is probably not the best fit for Momentum?
Oh, that's such a good question. Honestly, I don't remember.
Okay,
I
that's fine.
just because well, I don't know if you read like the human skills ones, but there were like 150 submitted. So,
Wow.
yeah, so my brain's just like I'm trying to file through, but
Yeah, I did hear. I didn't personally like. I didn't get a chance to go through Session Eyes and look through the proposals really, um, but I've heard a lot about how there were so many submissions, and not just like a lot of submissions, but a lot of high quality submissions, and it made it really difficult to pick out which ones should be accepted or not.
oh yeah, really good, really really good.
Nice. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what kind of content Momentum has this year
Me
after
too.
this. Why do you think speakers are so excited about Momentum? Why are like I don't think every conference out there receives this many high quality submissions. So is there something special about Momentum after like 4 or 5 years or 4 or 5 conferences that you've been to?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I just think the community that we have here is really
Hmm.
strong. Oh, the Cincinnati developer community,
Hmm.
but I just feel like Momentum, the organizers have so much love for it and they're so proud of it and they really want it to be a great experience for the speakers and attendees. And the thought and care put into that, there's a
Hmm.
lot of it. Not that other conferences don't have that, but I think when you've got like the formula of the sort of smaller community, the
Hmm.
smaller but growing community, and this very active community that's really tight knit with these really enthusiastic organizers, I think
Hmm.
that's really a magical formula.
Cool. Yeah, that's definitely great to hear. Are you going to do content review for any other conferences now?
Maybe. I guess if I get asked, I would.
This was a great conversation. Thank you very much, Annie. And just as a reminder, early bird ticket sales are still live right now, unless you're watching this like 5 months in the future. So go and buy the tickets for on momentumdevcon.com while they're still cheap. If not, they'll go up slightly and you'll have to pay a little more money, but it's still going to be worth it. But get them while they're cheap. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Annie.
Thanks, Dave.